Okay, now we goes to Haitham, and if you don't watch the previous video, albedo, his score is A. So I already put it in here, and the next one, like alphabetic order, is Haitham. And now let's discuss usage pretty quick. And in terms of usage, Dendro is Dendro. Mainly, like just only putting Dendro is already a big deal because you probably can play Hyperbloom or Virgin or something stupid. Probably playing Hyperbloom though. But also you can spread and quicken, which in Alhaitham it can increase his damage pretty big. Not only big, but in terms of Alhaitham is also unique because if you check the way he's scaling, I don't know why they put EM in the multiplication, but don't worry, that's like 200% EM won't change a lot. That is literally tiny. But his main usage is pretty much just you put Dendro, you kill enemy, and done. But I'm going to say this. His usage because he can apply Dendro and also as a DPS is pretty big. Pretty big. As a character is quite a pretty good. Because it means his team is usually either kind of free to play friendly, but it also can be scaled up into very hardcore team. But I do say his best team will be around Quick Bloom, which is a Hyper Bloom variant. I'm 100% be sure here. And probably you can check it even more, but I do think I will tell you that Quick Bloom is probably the way to go to play Alhaitham. Doesn't mean that other team like Quicken and Aggravate team is not good. When I mean Aggravate, I mean Spread team is not good. But I do think like Fischl and Yaimiko is not supposed to play with Alhaitham kinda. He's, for me, I think those characters should be played with more centers like Nahida. But I do say usage still as a character is as their characters as usage. And this is where people usually start confused. I'm going to rate it instantly. I today in terms of DPS. Alhaitham it should be single targetly, but not AoE, but he's still very good AoE. But people will probably assume this. What? And I do think I remember when Alhaitham released, some people think that until this day, you can probably fault check me because I do remember seeing in Reddit and some people in YouTube say, in other like YouTubers say that Alhaitham is good at AoE, which is I'm going to absolutely disagree when the first release because he can play Hyper Bloom single targetedly. That is insane. Like if you don't see Alhaitham why he killing enemy so fast, it's not Alhaitham damage, but it's mainly Hyper Bloom damage. That's why in Spiro, many people actually quite thinks Alhaitham good at doing bosses. Not everyone though, because some people actually selling him as a AoE possibly characters. But I do think both of them are quite equal because in terms of Hyperbloom is homing, so well that's that. Okay. So for me, single and AoE, like I said, for me is equal, which counts are S and S. And you will think because he have like, oh my god, this is very good stat already. What about flexibility? I do say it's not as flexible as many characters. There's many characters can do better than Alhaitham can do. Like example of the, or I cannot say example because that will spoiler instantly. But if we talking about a character, probably people think about best characters, probably not Haitham, right? And also Haitham is unique because instead the flexible he thinks he's more about how easy to build. That's why in terms of flexibility is quite good, but the reason why it's bad is kind of locked with some characters that is also good, like Shinjo, Raiden, Kuki, Shinobu, Yelan, and so on, like that. That's what I do think for the flexibility. He is only A, which is 2.5, but it doesn't mean he's bad. Remember, flexibility is flexibility. He's still good. And for limitation, he's not limited on a lot of situations. He's actually quite a free carrying characters and quite freestyle characters. You can play him in Hyper Bloom. You can play in more a spread centralized with actually Furina is also main selling of Haitham too, because he also very good at dealing damage himself. But his still main selling is actually in Hyper Bloom still. In Quick Bloom, I have to specifically. And now I'm going to say, as for limitation, I don't see any limitation on Haitham, barely. But I will do say he's kinda like a weird position in Dendro, which mean if you need buff, you probably rarely seeking any more characters. And I do think in some situation, if the enemy is spread out, usually Anemo can bring it together, like Fenty, Kazuha. But now, because you have to play Haitham, you probably won't play with Anemo. And I think only in AoE situation, like very AoE and very bad AoE, he kind of bad in some situation, but it doesn't mean he's not that bad. So I'm going to say he's still an A character as for limitation. I need to remember this. Okay, limitation is 3. Limitation which is 1.5. And now potential. Okay, I'm going to be honest with this. For potential, Constellation 1 is okay. Constellation 2 is also, look at this, is okay. You can get 200 EM from this. Remember, I don't have Haitham, so I cannot literally know like in depth, but at least I can see what's the potential at least. And for me, after seeing all of this, it's kinda constellation wise not that important, or it's just only increase his damage just by a bit, which is unfortunately other characters can't do that. That's why for me, for potential, I do think he's B at best, to be honest. For being just like that character, that basic characters, to be honest. Wait, I have to check it again. Potential 2, yes, we are 2. Okay, now for exploring is just male. He literally just kill and done. He's literally like Keting, which you might think in future he's probably have the same score. Just wait a little bit. But for exploring, I do think Haitham still good at dealing and killing enemy. But he's kinda reliable need with energy, which I do think is kind of fine, to be honest, because you can put Perfornius at many characters and you have infinite energy. So for me, exploring, even though he's not that great, at least it's B, is still viable. Okay, before I'm going to calculate it, let me cut the calculate because it's quite annoying last time. And okay, wow, he got literally S, and not only that, just barely S, almost S plus. Like the score is actually 11,875, and I'm not joking here. It's quite unfortunate, but remember the score is the score, so is in S character. Do I mean that Haitham is not that good to people? No, he's still good. He's still good at characters. He should definitely. I'm quite okay with you pulling. Remember, it doesn't mean like A and S everything is bad or meh, but some characters can be in S mainly can be good a little bit, but doesn't mean that it will be game changer in your account. And I do think Alhaitham is one of that characters. It won't be like a game changer in your account. And basically, to sum up Alhaitham position in S, I hope you enjoy. The next one is Alloy, and it will be one of the worst one so far. I don't want to chase it because yeah, let's we just see how bad Alloy can be. Enjoy.